Hey everybody, and welcome back to Shades of Sasha. And I'm so happy we're kicking off my Let's Learn Makeup series. And before we get started, here are some of the products that I would recommend if you're just starting makeup. So I would recommend getting some type of concealer. I really highly recommend the LA Girl Pro Concealer. Here's a different bunch of options that you also have. I would say a foundation stick, a tinted moisturizer, or foundation. I really highly recommend the Yummy Skin. And then I would also suggest a setting spray. Those are the things that I would recommend if you're just starting out makeup. So before we get into this, there are 4 different levels to this tutorial. There is 3 different versions of a 5-minute makeup routine that I will show today, including my brow, and then 3 other steps, and then a 10-minute makeup routine. But before we get started on my brows, I really want us to discuss what makeup is. And makeup is a cosmetic product used to enhance the appearance of the face or body part. Okay, so using a product and using makeup is makeup. You don't do makeup less, or you're not a makeup girly just because you don't know how to do a full face of makeup and do a underpainting method and all those different things. Like, I really want to stop bashing people because of the level of expertise that they have and where they are. Do what feels good to you, do what feels comfortable to you, and do what makes you feel beautiful and confident. Okay, so with my brow routine, I had this Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pen, and I think it ran out and died on me, so I'm pretty much dipping that into the ebony shade of my ABH cosmetic pomade, and I'm just using it to fill in any of the sparse areas within my brows. And before, what you saw me do was add the gel on it just to kind of lay everything in place and make sure that it's good. And pretty much this is one of the very first options, right? Maybe you just want to test out and learn makeup by saying, let me do my brows, let me see if I actually like it. Is this something for me? Okay, I think it is very important that as you're discovering if you like or enjoy makeup, to also see if there's something that you are allergic to or it just doesn't work for you. Okay, because you don't want to put your whole face on and that's when you're finding out for the first time, like, oh shoot, I'm breaking out in hives, or this doesn't work for me, or my skin is irritated, or the texture of this feels very ugh. Okay, and so I'm using this flat brush to blend everything out. A tip that I would suggest, just like I said, if you're going to get a different type of concealer like the LA Girl Pro Concealer, that tip is at the end, so it kind of does what this is doing, so you wouldn't need that. I would say use your shade so that you don't have to worry about how light it may be. Towards the end, when we get into my 10-minute process, then you're going to understand kind of why I use this shade to do what it is that I'm talking about doing. But this is a step in itself. This is a part of makeup itself. If this is all you do, that you are just a person that I just like doing my brows and going out, I have a bomb ass skincare routine, I feel like I don't need to do much, I just need to do my brows, that's fine. You know, that's a layer of what people do, and it's okay. So I just really want us to have a conversation about that the level of which you are is completely fine. And so the first 5-minute makeup routine that I'm going to show you is here when I'm adding on my primer. This one is from Black Girl Sunscreen, and this is the Make It Matte primer. And I pretty much do this just to make sure that I am fully covered when it comes to going outside and being in the sun. And then the first part of this process is color correcting. So if you have any layer of discoloration, or you feel like there's hyperpigmentation, or there's blemishes that you want to cover, I have PCOS, so above my lip I do wax, so that is why I'm making sure that I use the orange to kind of really show you how vibrant something can be and how this will all come together and work. And for my foundation sticks, they're from Minted Cosmetics, and I use the 2 shades that you saw on the screen to get my perfect shade. And this is where I'm just going in with making sure that I'm blending everything out from my upper lip to my eye, because your girl's getting bags and I don't understand what's going on there. But pretty much this is it. So like you can see, where did the orange go? It melted away. And this is one 5-minute makeup routine that if that's for you, that's completely fine. Just do it and keep it pushing. This other step is if you don't want to do any of those things, you wash your face, you put your sunscreen on, you're moisturized, and all you want to do is just add a layer of tinted moisturizer. That's another step that's not another step, but that's another routine or another different 5-minute layer of something that you're doing to just say, I'm going in and out, and that's it. And pretty much I just do this to blend everything out. I always recommend making sure that your foundation's shade matches your neck, because that's the best way to find out what your shade is. Don't try to typically just match it to your face. Try to match it to your neck, because you will get the best shade from doing that. And then I go ahead and I just use a foundation powder, put it all over my face, and I use a setting spray, and that's pretty much it. This again is another process of doing a 5-minute makeup routine that doesn't take too much. Once this is done, we're now entering my 10-minute makeup routine, which this part of the process is that I want to do a little bit more. Like, I want you to understand and see, like, nah, I put some makeup on, I'm trying to do a little bit, you know. And here I'm just adding the LA Girl Pro Concealer. I believe this is in the shade Fawn. I'm using Danessa Myricks for my blush. And then I'm using another LA Girl Pro Concealer for my bronzing. And then this is a Christian Dior, I want to say, concealer that I'm using on the same shades, on the same spaces that I already use my LA Girl Pro Concealer. So you want to make sure that this is dried down, but not too much that you can't move anything. And then I'm just going ahead and blending everything out with this brush. After I pretty much do this part of my process, the next step that I typically do is use the same brush that I use for my blush to use on my bronzer, because you're gonna see when I powder everything in, it's going to all come together. So tip, I have oily skin and I'm not acne prone. The only time that I break out is if it's that time of the month for me. So even when I go in with products, I typically always will make sure that I'm matting down my face, because I'm like a grease ball. And so any extra layer of support that I use to make sure that my skin is dry, I'm going for it. Not that my skin is dry, it's moisturized, but I don't want my makeup to look like it's swish-swashing all over the place. So I'm going in with this translucent powder from Sephora, and I'm using a makeup puff to do that. And then after I do this part, I pretty much always go towards my cheek under where it is that I've contour or bronze, and then I go in with this Juvia's Place. I use both of the shades, and then I just go to warm my face up, because I want there to be dimension and life in my face. I don't want everything to just look flat and just look like it's the one thing. And I go in with this Morphe powder, and I just dab everything all over my face again, just to drain whatever liquid, and just, like I said, I'm not swish-washing everywhere. And then pretty much, this may be a unpopular opinion, but I do not think you need to do lashes simply because you have makeup on. I will still do a full beat and literally go outside without lashes on, without falsies, without anything at all, because sometimes I just want my eyes to breathe. And so I think you use makeup for what it is that you enjoy and what you love. And I really hope that you all enjoy this video, and see y'all in the next one. I just wanna see how beautiful you are.